guys, what's up? You're listening to Sit Down with Stand-Ups, and this week I have a very funny guest. He's a great comedian, and he's a buddy of mine. We worked at the Comedy Magic Club together. Chris Traven.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
Not bad. Good to see you again.
You too, man. It's been a while.
I know. And you doing stand-up like every night almost?
No.
No?
I'm still working, waiting tables most nights, but
You got a show tonight, though.
got a show tonight.
At Poncho's in Manhattan?
Poncho's Manhattan Beach, yeah.
That's awesome.
Fun little local show. Ride my bike to it. Can't beat that.
That's sweet.
It's the best.
How long have you been doing stand-up?
I think like my first set I was 21, and then like I started getting into like on my 22nd birthday I was like, I'm gonna make it a point to try to do it this year, and like I drove out on my 22nd birthday just by myself and like went to Van Nuys, like some dive bar, like awful spot, did like some jokes on like a little AstroTurf with like a dartboard in the background. And it wasn't like the best experience of my life, but it was probably
Where was it, man?
The starting point.
Just like a dive.
It was like a weird little open mic. I can't even remember the name.
How'd you do?
Oh, there was nobody paying attention.
Like sports TVs on and stuff.
Yeah,
like one of those. Oh, I hate those.
Yeah,
where nobody else knows there's an open mic happening.
Right.
It just starts.
It was everybody's face towards the bartender. It's like, it was like right on the side of the bar.
Yeah.
And there was like maybe 7 people in there, and yeah.
It's like Monday Night Football, and like, oh hey, comedy.
Yeah.
Everybody's pissed.
But that's expected. There's a lot of spots.
So how many years have you been doing it now?
So yeah, it would be my 6.
6? Wow.
Yeah, 6.5.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And it's going really well.
Yeah, it's going well. I mean,
it's like a really fast climb to be like playing Comedy Store and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I started improv before I did stand up.
You did Groundlings, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I just started that too.
Yeah.
How far are you into it?
My next class is the advanced writing lab, so it's the last.
Oh wow.
Class. Yeah.
How many classes are there total? Like, it's like 6 or 7.
Well, they do beginner, intermediate, advanced, and then a lab writing class, and then you do the advanced lab.
Okay.
And then if they like you, they'll kind of put you on the Groundlings, or you're done with school. So.
Oh wow.
Same thing with this last class I took. I was either done with the school or they moved me on. I was like, I think I barely squeaked by, so it was pretty sweet.
That's crazy. So you got to audition like each time.
Yeah, basically every class like an audition. Like,
what if you get done with the school? Can you still audition after, or do you have to go through the whole process?
I think if you get to level 3 and they say you don't move on, like you can't take classes there anymore.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's really intense.
It's really intense, and some of these teachers are so strict. Like, and like it's kind of like boot camp. Some of them, because like they want you to do their rules, and you got to learn their way. And I mean, it obviously helps. And
moving on, you mean you'd be like in the Sunday team?
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's intense.
I know, super intense. And like even like every class was an audition. Like I think everybody feels that pressure.
Do you lose some buddies that you started out with like along the way?
No.
Does everybody sort of move at the same time, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, some people get moved on, some people don't. Like I got like when I first took Groundlings, it was like my 3rd improv class ever. Mm-hmm. So I had to take beginner like 4 times.
Oh wow, yeah.
To move on, and then it was a little easier after that point, once I got all the basics down. And then
is Groundlings, so far as I've been there, I think it's really like emotion based. Like they really look to see if you can.
They like good acting, and then they like good characters, like strong points of view, which are really hard to kind of come up with.
Have you developed any characters like?
Yeah.
You've been there?
Yeah.
Who are some of your characters?
We used to do like the thug, what's up, dog? That guy.
What does the thug do? He just comes in.
Yeah, he just whatever he wants.
What are his? Is he like a clean thug, or is he like a?
He's kind of a little troublemaker. Like kind of reminds me like how I was a little bit in high school.
Yeah.
And then like I did like that character like with a skateboard on stage, and like I was hitting on my teacher.
I saw that picture.
Yeah.
Did you ollied through that first
Dude,
jump of the stage?
Yes. And I was like, it's literally been a dream of mine.
That's such a
to
risk.
skateboard on stage. I know, but I like wanted to do it forever. And then
And
I
you
get to do
landed
it
it,
at
and
the
it was
Groundlings.
awesome?
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Well, I mean, I skateboarded a long time, so
Yeah.
it wasn't that big a deal. But I was stoked to like finally actually do it. And check that one off the list, you know.
What are some of the other characters you do?
Do like a businessman. Hello there. How are you doing today? You know, like just like super.
Like Mad Men-ish.
Yeah,
kind of,
like you know,
corporate.
but a little more cheese cornball. Like just trying to be like too professional.
That's a really good character.
Yeah, you know, just like over the top, no matter what you're dealing with. Oh yes, I'll be right on that. You know?
Just making a sandwich.
Right?
He's
Yeah,
very
yeah,
into-
yeah, yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And so, like, do you audition these characters, or like, how does the audition process work? Are you with a group, or?
Well, when you first auditioned to the class, I mean, this was a long time ago. I mean, that was like almost 8 years ago. But I think, yeah, you just do like a couple improv games, like, you know, the one-word story game kind of deal, or like, just like a couple scenes, and they'll see kind of where you're at. And then once you get past that, it's like, it's all classes.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just like a 8-person audition.
Is it pretty stressful?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't that stressed. I mean, I was so new, and like I just came like off. I was doing like an improv class at this adult school at Costa.
Yeah.
And
How are those? Are those good?
I mean, it was $100, and it was like the first thing I ever did.
Yeah.
And like this was the first time I started actually doing comedy for like really. And then like I was like they liked me in that class. I did really well in that class, and so I was like, oh, I got this. I'm going to Groundlings.
Yes, and I'm
right,
going to the
yes,
Groundlings.
you know, I got this down. And then like I get there, I'm like, whoa, this is kind of intense.
Yeah.
And but I still had some really funny scenes, but like, you know, it'd be hit and miss for a lot of it. But
How often do you get to perform on that main stage? Is it like a once a
no.
class kind of a thing?
Well, yeah, that was the first show I've ever done there. But like, yeah, you'll have like class in there, but
That's such a cool stage. I went to
know.
the first time to see
Yeah.
a show there, and it's like actual Saturday Night Live,
Right.
in front of you.
Yeah.
There's a band and like different sketches. It's great.
yeah, like when I first saw a show there, I was blown away, like unbelievable.
Do you know like all those guys like Alex Staggs or like
I took a class with him.
he's so
Yeah,
funny.
yeah,
That guy like kills.
yeah.
So many different characters.
There-
You didn't even know like at the end of the show that he was like 9 different characters. 'Cause He
Right.
was like so like
Yeah,
into.
yeah. You're like, who was that? Who were all the other guys?
Yeah.
Where are those guys at?
Yeah, there's only like 3 people come
yeah,
out of the
yeah.
end.
You're like,
Oh,
what?
really?
That's not real.
There's another one. I think her name was Ariana or something.
Uh huh.
Something like that.
Yeah, they have
She's
so many talented
killer.
people.
How come none of those guys are on SNL like right now?
Well, you know what's funny is Abby Elliott, I had my first Groundlings class with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I know. And like I knew she was Chris Elliott's daughter, and so like I was like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. And then like 2 years later, I was like, damn, she made it already. I was like, I'm like, damn, all right. I guess this is how it happens. But then
She just took off to SNL.
I guess, man.
What is it like? Does Lorne Michaels just come and sit in on one of those Saturday shows, or do they fly them out, or how does that?
I have no idea how that happened. I mean, I'm sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You're gonna get on too
That'd be sick.
one day, for sure.
Yeah. Ideally.
This is the last interview you do, and then it's like, oh,
Oh, there we
Traven's
go.
on freaking SNL.
He's ready. Get some impressions down.
Yeah. Do you do impressions too? Do you try
No,
to do
not
them?
yet.
Yeah.
But if they need me to,
Working on it.
I said, "Oh, I got you."
If you're listening, Lauren, he does a killer Obama.
Yeah. Don't you worry. Yeah.
So, are you from California originally?
I was born here, but then I moved to Texas when I was like 8, and then we moved to Chicago, suburbs of Chicago,
Oh,
Crystal
wow.
Lake, Illinois,
Nice.
when I was 11, and then out here my senior year of high school.
Okay, so you've
So-
been like all over the place.
Yeah, kinda.
What do your parents like do something where they have to move a lot? Or?
My dad worked in the newspaper industry, and he
Oh,
just
cool.
got better job offers.
Yeah.
And he's like, "We should go here. There's more money." So.
Did you ever see a Second
like,
City
alright.
show when you were in Chicago?
No, I didn't. Like that was like one. Like that was like everybody was telling me like Second City, and I guess there is Second City out here. I haven't been there, but yeah, I've never been to one, but I've always heard it's awesome.
What got you like into comedy? Like, when did you realize you're like kind of funny and maybe make a career out of it?
I don't know. I mean, I always like, well, like the first time I ever got like big laughs.
Yeah.
It's kind of goofy, but I was in class like maybe 6th or 7th grade. Like 6th grade, yeah. And I just started farting. I wouldn't try to hide it. I just like rip them, and like it would just murder the whole class. And I was like, yes, this is awesome.
Fucking someone hone this on stage.
Right. It was like, dude, man, I'm killing it. And so I would just keep doing that like every class. And then like, eventually I got
getting all the girls.
No, but I wasn't worried about that at that point.
That's so funny.
But I did I have to go to detention for it. She's like, you do it on purpose. I know, I can't help it.
The teacher and everything.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's classic. My first like thing was like similar to that. It wasn't jokes or anything.
Right.
I would just walk around the house when I was like 5 and just pants people. And
Yeah.
It was the funniest thing in the world.
Little troublemaker.
Just little pranks like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you came out here for high school?
Yeah. Well, my senior year, my dad got another job offer out here, and they're like, California, sorry, we're going. I mean, my senior year, I was kind of bummed at the time, you know, but now I mean, I love it here.
Right. And then you started pretty much like not shortly after that when you were 21?
Yeah, I mean, I started selling newspapers at grocery stores. That was the worst. I was like, I don't read this. You guys might want to.
What paper did your dad work for, Danny?
The Daily Breeze.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. And so I was trying to sell subscriptions for that, and then I had another job. Actually, a lucky job at Fox Sports. I was editing videos and stuff, which was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But I didn't know anything about sports. I just knew about editing videos. I was like, that didn't last long. And then I was like back to selling newspapers. Like, man, this is the worst. And then I saw Comedy Magic Club was hiring. I was like, yes, you know, because I didn't know how. Like that was like one of the first comedy shows I ever saw was there.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah, before I started working there, and I was like, I didn't understand how they did it. Like I was like, gosh, I mean, because like me and my friends were funny, you know.
Yeah.
And we were like, how do they do it? Do they just go up there and they're funny? And then like once I started figuring it out, it's, you know, everybody has a set,
right?
You know, and I was like, oh, okay, I just have to think of something funny and say it over and over again. I can do that,
yeah.
You know. And then I started working there, and then after like the probably first 6 months, I just started filming myself, try to do jokes, and see if something would stick.
Yeah.
You know. And
that was my thing too when I first came to Comedy Magic Club. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, these guys are geniuses. Like,
Right.
they're making all this stuff. I saw Jay Leno.
Right.
That was one of the first shows. Like, this guy is amazing. And
Yeah.
then every week he does the
Yeah,
same
right.
exact
Right.
joke. And I'm like, oh,
word
okay.
for word.
Like,
you know,
I can get it now.
the pauses are all the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's weird how it's still like so much fun doing that. Like, you know, new crowds, like the same jokes.
Right.
You know, it's still like insanely fun. I mean, I understand.
The guys I love are the guys who, I mean, everybody does the same jokes everywhere. That's
Right.
like the secret.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that already, listening at home. But like the guys who just like every time it's new. Like,
Yeah.
just totally like Brian Kiley we were talking about. Like every time it's like the funniest thing.
Right.
Like Ian Bagg.
Yeah.
Kills me.
Yeah.
He's like Jonathan Winters, like reincarnated.
Right. He's insane. He writes on stage. Like that's what's great about him. But yeah, Brian Kiley's jokes are just so good.
I think you knew if the guy was good if all the doormen and the waiters and stuff stopped.
Right.
And, like, came to watch the show. Yeah. That guy's really
right.
good.
Yeah.
Because we've all heard it so many times.
Right.
How long have you been working at Comedy Magic?
I've been working there, about 8 years, seven and a half. Yeah.
Nice. So you've seen like some people like start and like become huge.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, it was great. Like, I mean, just doing open mics, like Gerard Carmichael.
Wow.
You know, back in the day, and then now he's headlining there. So awesome.
You bump into him like at the Comedy Store and stuff.
Yeah, I bumped into all those crews, Byron Bowers and
nice.
All those guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Gerard and would they come down and like do like Boogaloo and stuff too in Hermosa?
Yeah, we used to have Club 705. Did you ever do that one?
No, I heard about it though.
Yeah, now it's like a hospital. It's crazy.
Totally opposite.
I ride my bike down. I'm like, dang, it's right there, that little spot. And it sounds like a lobby. Like, it's kind of cool though. And then that spot was really fun because it was a little comedy and music, so we'd get like an actual decent crowd in there, and and they'd come down for that sometimes. But
when you're first starting out and like going to open mics and stuff, how are you like honing your material? Because like right now, like I think you have a very specific style that's very funny. But like when you started out, did you dabble in like other stuff too, or?
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of whatever. Like I would be hanging out with friends, and something funny would come out, write down, my phone or whatever, and just it would kind of be all over the place. Like this is a funny idea. Here's a funny idea.
Yeah.
Like didn't really have any rhythm to it, but I kind of liked that style at the time. Kind of ADD. Kind of like these are way completely different topics,
right?
But it's funny. So
right.
So yeah, this is kind of whatever I thought could work.
I mean, I'm always curious to know like how comics sort of like figure it out. Like I hate to say like their voice or whatever, but
right.
like when do you realize like, oh, this is working a lot and I should like go in that direction, and you start writing in that way?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
does it just come through like doing open mics a lot and being on stage? And
yeah, and I think just time as a person too. I mean, you gotta figure out like what makes you laugh, and then just kind of what makes the crowd laugh, and then if you find that middle ground, you're like, all right, I think this is funny. I'm not just doing it for them, so you don't hate yourself, and you just kind of like start. Because I mean, if you have a joke that like you really love, and then like the crowd like reacts to it, but not like as much as you think it would, but you just keep doing it because you love it so much, I think that's when you found your voice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because you're like, you know what, this guy, I just have faith in this, and I'm just gonna keep saying it, and then it's gonna work.
Yeah. I'm at that stage like starting out where I'm like, this is hilarious, and then I'll do it, and it's like, nope, not as funny as I thought it was gonna be.
Right. What's funny, like, I mean, sometimes you just had to change the words like a little bit, like not even that much, just enough to like either get the joke there faster or that makes it, make sense a little. I don't know, because like I've had jokes that just I couldn't figure out how, like, or just a word like that I thought was funny, like obestiality.
Yeah.
And I thought like that was a funny word, and like I could never figure out how to write it into a joke, and I tried a few times, and then now I just reworded it and it works. So yeah, it's crazy.
My favorite joke you do is the stereotypes.
Oh, yeah, right. That was same thing.
How does that one go again?
I say a lot of different stereotypes in the world. There's way too many stereotypes. Like one of my friends has Kenwood, my other friend has Sony, my mom has Bose. Like how many stereotypes?
Great joke.
Yeah.
Like, for a joke, that's the perfect joke.
Yeah.
I love jokes like that. Like,
right.
And the audience is just like slowly catching on, and just like the wave of laughter comes in.
A little slow burner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that stuff. I was gonna ask you, since you did improv and everything like that, do you ever like incorporate improv on stage while you do stand up, or do you stick to like your material for the most part?
Yeah, it depends. Like I'd probably like 10% improv. Like sometimes, like I mean, if it's like kind of a small show, like if there's only like 20 people there,
right?
I mean, I'm like, might as well,
Yeah.
And then like it comes with time, and just stage time, when you're like comfortable up there, and just because I mean it's jokes word for word are like gonna be obviously more efficient and faster,
right,
than just improvising. I mean, Ian Bag's a different story just because he's a phenom. It's insane how his brain works, but it's definitely a point I want to get to. Like I think because like improv is the more fun for me now, just because it's like you don't know what's gonna happen, and that's always fun,
right?
Than if I'm just telling the same jokes every night.
Yeah, stand up kind of can turn into work. Like if you're sitting down and writing the jokes.
Right.
Yeah, I totally understand. And you mentioned Ian Bag, and you're pretty good friends with him. And
Yeah,
you've done some shows with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how does that guy even come up with that stuff? Like,
he just does
it.
He
start like how do you? I can't imagine doing an open mic in an Ian Bag fashion. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you even become that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I didn't. I mean, I've only known him since he's been. How good he is, like, like I can't imagine how he started out. Because I mean,
how'd you get to know him? Like, did he bring you on through Comedy Magic, or?
Yeah, I was just friends with him at Comedy Magic Club. We were gonna do a couple sketches like a while ago, like 5 years ago or so, We were just kind of friends, and we filmed a little like live game show with him. It's called Suck My Balls. It's pretty funny. You could look it up on YouTube. And then we were just trying to do little projects here and there. And then just one day I was at the club waiting, or I think it was Dora then, and he's like, "Yeah, you want to do a set on Tuesday?" I was like, "Yeah." And then I went down to Bray Improv with him, and he's like, "Man, you're awesome.
That's right.
You should start opening for me whenever I can get you a spot." I was like, "All right, cool."
That's so
awesome.
Cool. Yeah. That's awesome.
So it was kind of insane.
To go back to like how you said like word for word, every joke like is important, and like I totally understand. Like even if you like breathe wrong in a joke, it could like mess up the entire thing.
Right.
When you're like, because a lot of your style too is like, I feel like there's a lot of nuances that you do on stage. Like how do you figure those out? Like the pauses and.
Yeah, I mean, like I think just from watching so many shows, like, cause I worked the door there for 6 years, and then so like that's basically all I was doing is watching shows, and you just kind of night after night you get that kind of rhythm and timing in your head, like, and you'll kind of start to feel it the more you do the joke, like the longer you wait on sometimes, like, because you'll try it a million different ways, and then you'll be like, all right, so 2.5 second pause right there, like it doesn't really get that complicated, but you'll start to have a feel for it,
right? That's so cool. And Comedy Magic was like the best, like just college, I guess,
right? To
just work there and see all these people.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, who were some of the people that you saw like there that were just like blown away by?
Yeah, I mean, Bag every time. All the writers, like Brian Kiley, obviously. And I mean, Matt Fulchon was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Especially when he was like, oh man, like 4 or 5 years ago, it was just killing. like he would just talk about how good his jokes are. Like, oh man, you bring the air conditioners. I brought the heat tonight. It just say these stupid little lines, and it would just kill me. And I just kind of liked like that fearlessness.
So funny.
And then who else? Kevin Nealon.
Oh yeah.
Kevin Nealon was like my favorite. Like when I would watch, I would just like study. I'm like, man, this is the best. Like all the little jokes, like, cause he's a writer too.
Right.
And like his jokes are super clever. And then he has like those 3 bits that like I've never seen anyone touch. Like the ad lib one.
Oh yeah.
That one's insane. Or this.
Did you ever see him do that on? I think it was Joan Rivers or Carson.
Oh no!
He does it with this like TV.
Oh
crowd,
what?
And he kills. Like he ends with that.
Yeah, that joke is awesome. That's the
good.
best. Like
for you guys listening at home, he literally like does Mad Libs with the audience.
Right.
Like, he'll tell a story and he'll just pause. Be like, so the other day I was at the and like the crowd will just shout something out. Yeah. And he'll just go with that. It's like grocery store. All right.
That's like a bit I wish I could have, like so bad.
It's so perfect.
What
are the other 2 that you really like that he does?
There's a subliminal message one. That one's super funny. And then the porn. You ever see that? Heard that one?
How does it go again?
Is that he's talking about Playboy asked me to review a few pornos, and I was all right, I guess I could do that. And then he says, so the first one was called, I forget what it's like Betsy and Bonnie or something. 2 very attractive girls. I was interested right away. Interested, very interested. And then suddenly no interest at all. And the next one is Debbie Does Dallas or whatever, He's like, I sat down, good production value. I found myself interested right away. Interested, very interested, and suddenly no interest whatsoever.
That's such a great bit. Yeah, I totally remember now.
Yeah.
That's funny because he was one of the ones where I saw when I was like blown away by too.
Right.
Because I knew him from SNL and I knew him from like Sandler movies, but I never saw stand up until he came to Comedy Magic.
Right.
I was like, this guy's like the like second version of Steve Martin.
Right.
Like, just like totally weird, off the wall.
Yeah.
And like gets to do all these like cool things. Like.
Yeah.
The Mad Lib one for sure. I was just like, this is the best.
Dude, because I mean, imagine having that. Because I mean, it's still the same joke every night, but it's not.
No, yeah.
You know?
So it could be totally different.
Yeah.
Like, what a crowd pleaser. Like, oh
right.
my God. The crowd's totally on your side when you do that.
Right.
Do you ever have, like, a bad experience on stage where you're just, like, you lost the crowd? You're like, oh.
Yeah. It doesn't really happen as much anymore.
What was, like, your worst heckler experience or story?
Probably, like, this guy that couldn't really speak English. I forget. I don't know if he was, like...
He had the balls. The guy who couldn't speak English had the balls to stop a show.
He was, like, Italian or something. I don't even know I forget. But, yeah, I was at 705, and, he was just drunk, and, like, I forget what he was doing. Like, every joke he'd comment on, you know?
Ugh.
And you're just like, all right, man. And, like, he kept trying to, like, one up. Oh, you know, something, like, I forget, like, I said, like, I had 7 something, and he's like, oh, I had 8. And then I was like, what are you talking about?
What are some of, like, your best shows that you, like, stand out to you? Do you ever get to, like, open for somebody? Like, I know Ian Bag, but, like,
right. Yeah.
Your heroes or anything?
Probably one of my favorite shows is when I did Brea. I did, like, a 20-minute spot there.
Nice.
And it was, like, a college crowd.
Nice.
And, like, I only had, like, 15 minutes of jokes at the time. So, like, I had 5 minutes I had to kind of fill.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I like, had to improvise a little.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's the first time I was nervous because I knew I had to improvise. Like, sometimes it just happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then it actually went, like, really, really well. It was, like, probably one of my best shows. And then, just driving home from that show, I was, like, cloud 9. Like, whoa, my guys, it was the best thing ever. I got, like, $25. I was like, oh, yes. Awesome. I was like, I made it. I finally made it.
It's the gas to get home.
Right.
No, this is the best, like, feeling, like, when you finally, like, everything works out perfectly.
Right.
And you don't expect it to, and you're like, oh, 5 minutes, I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
That's so awesome. Do you go on the road or anything and do colleges? Because I feel like you would do really well.
I know.
At universities.
I know. I like, wish I could figure that system out, you know. But is
that like, do you just call, or do you have to have a manager?
I have no,
like,
exactly. I have no idea. But like, yeah, it'd be awesome. Like, they pay really well.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it'd be the best. You could beat that. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if you just call the school, hey there, University of California.
What are you doing this
yeah, right. What do you got going on? Oh, cool. I was gonna come do some comedy. You got a few thousand? You can throw my way. Oh yeah, we got that.
I'm also gonna need to bunk with somebody in the dorm. So
right.
That's cool.
Yeah. So a spare bunk.
I'm sure that's exactly how it works.
All right.
Get on the college circuit.
Yeah.
So you've done the Comedy Store, which is amazing.
Yeah.
You've done Improv.
Mm-hmm. Done Laugh Factory. I've done every club except for our club.
Yeah, how come you don't get on the Comedy Magic? That's what I was going to ask you.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
What's the deal with that?
I think there's kind of a rule, because they don't want, like, Comedy Store, like, you know, you work there, you get stage time too,
right? Which
is awesome, but they don't want to be that club. And then,
but it's like an unspoken rule. Like, I never heard anybody ever really.
They're just, you know, they're trying to keep this prestigious,
right?
You know, I mean, you kind of have to be a national headliner to get a spot there.
Yeah,
you know, true. Unless you're like recommended by some, you know, Seinfeld brings you in, and they're gonna give you a shot.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
It's just like really hard to.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would have to stop working there and be doing sets, you know, 5-6 nights a week.
Have Rich come out and see you.
Oh yeah, he actually just saw me a few weeks ago, so that was pretty cool.
How was that?
It was good. Yeah, really good show. So.
Give you some good, like.
Yeah, you're funny, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe. But he's still a manager there, so
right.
He has to kind of keep that, you know, professional, since he has to manage the staff.
That's the thing I love about Rich. Like, he's very like just work oriented when it comes to the staff and everybody, and then like with the comics, like totally chill.
Right.
Like, kicks back with them.
Yeah.
Like, so, he organizes everything that way.
Right.
It's really cool.
I know. That would be a great point, or a great day when I could just sit there in the green room and talk sports.
Right.
Instead of getting yelled at about forgetting to put in a spinach dip or something.
Do you have any funny stories from the Comedy Magic Club?
Yeah, probably.
That won't get you nowhere.
Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, so many. Like,
You ever get in trouble like big time by anybody?
yeah, nothing too crazy. I mean, just playing on my phone or just yeah, nothing too
bad. Yeah. I always got in trouble for turning my walkie-talkie down when I was watching the show.
Right.
Chris, he'd be like yelling, he's like, Arian,
Yeah, right.
get on the phone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just watching comedy, man.
Right. Yeah.
That was the sweetest gig, man. You get free dinner, don't really do anything. You
Right.
just watch comedy for like 4 hours.
Yeah, you make $40.
You make you make a
get
lot of money.
You get like introduced to being a comic,
Yeah, it was really cool. Do you ever think about like doing it at the Comedy Store to get that stage time?
Yeah, I thought about it, but yeah, just serving there now. Like, I mean, it's pretty good money now, and it's tough. It's tough being a comic trying to make money. So.
Oh yeah.
You gotta figure out your financials before you can
do anything else.
Go full fledged. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to ask you: were you a pro disc golfer?
Yeah.
Well, like, when was that?
That was 2 years ago.
Were you doing it your whole life, or how did that even?
Well, yeah. I mean, after I stopped skateboarding, I moved out here and I was working nights at the club and just had daytimes free, and so did my buddy. So we would go like 4 times a week, and then like I just got really good, and then started competing, and yeah, like 2 years ago, I like cashed out in pro tournaments. I got like third, made like $185.
Wow.
And I was like, sweet, all right, I'm a pro athlete. Like, I want to go pro in something. I was like,
that's so cool,
right? I was a kid, I wanted to be a pro hockey player, and then like I want to be a pro skateboarder, and then I was like, all right, it's my last shot. Pro disc golf. And then yeah, like I guess a lot of comics actually play it because
really?
It's free, during the day. Like, I mean, they're on the road. John Evans, Dan Gabriel.
Wow,
yeah. Like
that's so funny.
I know. And it's just I mean, it's a good way to spend your day.
That's the ultimate trivia, I think. Like, if you ever get on like a Letterman or Conan
Right.
or something, it's like, oh yeah, I'm also a professional.
Right. Yeah.
Before I became a professional comedian.
Right. And I think
cool.
it was like something I wanted to like. I just wanted to be introduced that way for a little while because like my jokes are a little offbeat. So they're like, oh, this guy's plays frisbee golf. All right, this is gonna be a little weird. And he's pro. All right, this guy. He's got a lot of time. He probably has some good jokes.
So what are you doing now? You're playing shows.
Yeah.
How often a week do you think?
Usually about twice a week.
Twice a week.
I usually work 5 nights, so if I get a night or two off, I'll try to go do a set somewhere. Nice. Or, I mean, open mics are just so depressing out here.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I don't do too many of those anymore, so I usually try to book shows. And then, we just formed a little improv group.
Oh,
my
nice.
UCB classmates, and
did you take UCB classes too?
Mm-hmm.
How are those?
Awesome.
They're really good.
Yeah, those are really fun.
Okay.
Yeah, those are really, really fun. A little cheaper too.
That's
and
good.
and they're less strict. I mean, they still have all their rules to it, but
they do stand up shows there too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You ever perform there?
No, not yet. But like that's like my perfect like
crowd.
the way they do stand up. Like kind of that alternative style. It's like ideal kind of crowd.
Right.
But yeah, there's so many people at that place. It's like insane. But they just opened a new theater, so there should be more stage time floating around.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
So you got improv, you're doing shows all the time.
Yeah.
Working at Comedy Magic Club. Like, what's your like ultimate like dream? Like 10 years from now, like what do you see yourself doing?
Yeah, ideally.
Movies or like.
Ideally. That'd be sick. I mean, but probably like a sketch show first would be awesome.
Nice.
Because you could use all those characters and stuff that you create, or I guess a little sitcom. I mean, it depends who you do it with.
Right.
Because those are kind of corny sometimes, but if you can figure it out.
Do you watch some of the new ones like Mulaney and Cristela?
Oh yeah, no, I haven't seen Cristela yet, but that's pretty awesome that she made.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's so sick.
She's like one of the first ones I saw when I
At
came
the club?
to the club. And
Yeah.
not even 6 months later. It's
right
like on ABC Prime.
I know, and you see that and you're like, oh, this is easy.
Yeah, you don't take into consideration she's been doing it for like 10, 15 years.
Right. And like she's like one out of how many people that are gonna have a show.
That's the thing with comedy. I feel like people don't realize where they see these, because you could see, if you have a major club in your city, you could see like amazing headliners.
Right.
And people are like, oh, that guy's like new and he's pretty funny. It's like, that guy's been doing it for like at least 10 years.
Yeah.
Like he's a total pro. Like
Right.
Tosh, like when he came out of nowhere.
Right.
Tosh has been doing it for like 20 years.
Oh, I know. Yeah, Tosh had a huge following before his show. Like he would sell out before. I mean, like, you know.
You kind of saw him at the club before he got like super big, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was already big then. Like,
you saw him when he used to live like
yeah,
right around the corner.
2nd Street. I mean, he still had $1 million house.
Yeah. He had a little Vespa or something.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember hearing about it. He did like a show in Arizona at college.
Yeah.
And before his show, and he got like $40,000.
Wow.
And then he drove home and slept in his bed. It's like, jeez, that's insane. I haven't even made $40,000 yet in my life.
It's so crazy.
No, yeah, it's insane, the types of, you know, money that there is. So that, you know, ideally, a little bit of stand-up, a little bit of TV would be
nice.
Ideal.
Very cool.
Get some residuals going, you know, when you're older, you know.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up.
Wraps it up.
You got a show tonight at Ponchos.
Ponchos, yeah.
Beach. What time is it at?
About 9, right after Monday Night Football.
All right.
I'll kick it off.
9 p.m. Sweet. Anybody else on the list tonight?
Who is on that show?
Because I know like Mario Joyner and like crazy people like show up all the time.
Yeah, we got Dan O'Carter who does the show.
Cool.
And Pete Gercio is really funny. And who else is
And it's
on
like in
the
a
show?
restaurant, right?
Yeah, it's like a little. Well, it's like at the bar side. They do a lot of like karaoke and stuff there.
Yeah.
You know. But
That's a cool,
it's
like,
got a
venue.
stage. Yeah, it's cool. Like they got sharks hanging on the ceiling.
Nice.
It's a cool spot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me today.
Thank you for having me, man.
Very, very much.
Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.